We are going to be demonstrating pigmentation steps and retention used during ombre brow effect. So your first step is going to be to create a baseline. We will create this baseline with the machine doing a back and forth movement. So right now we're just doing simulation with a pen. Um, and we will create that same simulation we would do with a machine. To divide the differences between the lower and upper part of the brow, we can use a pencil. We recommend you use a different color pencil so you could see the differences better. And that way you could see the difference in the color saturation between the upper and lower part of the brow. So we're going to do our first layer on the bottom line. And once that has been completed, we will make the simulation in the upper line of the brow, always keeping in mind that this will be our lightest part of the brow once we have finished our pigmentation. And I will mark right underneath that the bottom line, you have to keep in mind that is 80% of color. So you should have 80% of color retention on the bottom line and about 30% of color in the upper part of the brow. And then later on, we're going to divide the brow into three parts. So again, we would use different color pencils in order to visualize this retention. That way you can see the color layout even better. And we can start from the bottom with high intensity. And then between the red line and the green color, just keep in mind as you're working that the color will weaken as you're working yourself up. Keeping in mind again that your lower part will always have the highest intensity in your brow overall. And we will finish the top part with a gentle movement. The skin should pierce through the color of the pigment as we're working on the axillary lines. And the simulation of the color distribution is exactly the same as during pigmentation. So every time that you're going to practice, you have to keep in mind as you would be working on an actual person or skin. The head is always the lightest part of the brow, which is the base, clearly emphasizes the shape. Remember to distribute the color evenly, and 100% of the color is the eyebrow altitude. 70% of the color is in the central part of the brow, and 30% in the upper part of the brow. As we're doing our work and practicing at home, we should always keep in mind these different levels of